So there is some massive news that has come out of the tech and gaming space where it has come out that Microsoft is expected to lay off up to 9,000 employees, which includes a lot of Xbox staff, with a new report that has outlined that Microsoft is expected to lay off less than 4% of its workforce, totaling approximately 9,000 employees. The layoffs will include staff from Microsoft's gaming division Xbox. The news comes following weeks of rumors and speculation, which by all accounts were described as a potential bloodbath. In a new report from Variety, it's been claimed that the number of those affected is under 4% of Microsoft's total workforce, which currently stands at 228,000. In short, that means that around 9,000 people will be laid off. And there was also a memo that was put out by Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, and he posted it right here. I'm not going to read it all, but after that, it says here that today's announcement marks the fourth round of layoffs at Microsoft and Xbox in the last 2 years. So there has been a lot of layoffs that's been going on in Microsoft over the last like couple of years, right? And a lot of people, when this all came out, a lot of people were obviously very like, oh my God, I can't believe that Microsoft is doing this. And because Microsoft has done this, right, is that there have been, at least in the gaming space, it has seen that's where we've seen it being most affected, because there has been a couple of games that have now been like officially cancelled, right? But I am here to talk about why I think that this is not a bad thing. Right? And that's not for me to say that I don't feel sorry for the people that have been laid off. No, of course. I feel bad for people whenever they get laid off. I've been laid off before as well. Trust me, I've lost a job before. It sucks. I know how people feel. So I'm telling you that, like, it does suck, but I don't see this as like a massive problem. And when it comes to the games being cancelled, at first I was kind of shattered, but then I remembered this from The Perfect Dark, which is the game that has been cancelled due to these layoffs. And this is something that came out like late last year, where it says Perfect Dark level designer says gamers were a mistake, attacked them as racist pigs for opposing race swaps. So for the fact that Perfect Dark has been cancelled, honestly, when I saw that, and because I remember seeing that last year, but I'd forgot about it, and I was like, oh damn, it sucks that Perfect Dark got cancelled. And then once I saw that article started getting its ways around, I was like, you know what, I'm not angry, actually. I'm not shattered the fact that all these layoffs have now come. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of happy the fact that game got cancelled, because if you have someone who's developing a game and they are coming out attacking gamers, I mean, we've seen it multiple times, and there's been so many times where developers have come out shit on gamers because they're saying that they don't like gamers, and then their games turn out to be horrible anyway. So I'm actually not that shattered that game got cancelled, right? But here's the reason why I think that layoffs, especially in like the gaming industry as well, because that's the one thing that I myself like look towards more, right? When it comes to Microsoft, I don't know too much about like the tech industry, but I'm still gonna like bring it up a little bit here and there. But I'm gonna mostly be like focusing on like of when it comes to the gaming industry, because me myself, I am actually an inspiring game developer. I am at university at the moment to be a game developer. So you're obviously probably asking me, Donnie, why the hell then are you saying that this is a good thing? Well, I think that these companies have too many employees. They do. They straight up have too many employees to the point where it is pointless. There is so many people that work at this company. You don't need 228,000. I know Microsoft is a big company. Of course they are. They do probably need more employees than like a general another company would. But you don't need 228,000. And then when getting rid of 9,000, that, if anything, I honestly thought that they would get rid of more. Like the fact when I heard it was 228,000, and then it was like, oh, they're only getting rid of 9,000. Damn, I'm surprised they're not getting rid of like maybe 20,000, 30,000 employees, because I think that having so many employees at a company just becomes pointless at times. And we've seen it so many times in the past where companies having so many people at like working for them, it actually doesn't, like, it's not good for the long term. And if anything, them getting rid of layoffs actually turns out to be better. I mean, one great example of when it came to mass layoffs in a company is when it came to Twitter. Elon Musk bought Twitter. He cut 80% of Twitter's staff. And what has changed since then? Nothing. the company and the website still run perfectly fine. Everything runs fine. And it just goes to show that they had way too many staff. And there was no reason for them to have that many people. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing a video at the time. I don't know if I'll be able to find it because it's probably like way deep in the internet somewhere. But there was this video that was going around at the time of when these layoffs happened of someone showing their daily life of them working at Twitter. This person did fuck all. This person did nothing. As a matter of fact, they were probably more of a nuisance to the company than them actually doing something. And what happens a lot of the times of when it comes to companies having so many people working for them is that all it does is it adds layers. And you're probably asking me, what do I mean by layers? Well, whenever something at the company wants to change, say like someone is working on a game, right? We're going to go into like more of when it comes to game development because I understand it better and I can explain it better. Is that say there is like 200, 300, say there's like 300 people working on one game. Say this one group of like 20 people are working on this one section of the game and they come with this great idea that's going to actually make the game a lot better. They can't just add it into the game because they have to go through their manager and then their manager has to go through their manager and then their manager has to go through their manager and then they have to get it approved to the top. So a lot of the times things don't end up getting changed because it has to go through so many different people just to get approved. And if it does get changed, it takes fucking months to change. It takes so long. And then because you have so many people, is that you will have like one group working on one part of a game and then another group working on a different part of the game. But because there's so many people, it's hard to interact with everyone and make sure that the game coincides and is actually doing well. And everyone agrees with how the game is working, with how everything's going forward. And everyone is happy with what they are developing. There's just some people that are probably working at the company that like have no opinions in what they're making and they just have to like keep pumping out shit and then it ends up becoming terrible. I mean, you see it so much. Like, why do you think that so many great like gaming development teams like Blizzard, Ubisoft, EA, these were revolutionary teams in like the 2000s or 90s, right? They were so good back then, but now they're shit. The reason for that is because they started off as these small, passionate teams with just enough developers where they had just enough developers to be able to make a great game. But now, as the years have gone on, they've just hired so many people to the point where now what they're making is shit. And then you see it. Proof recently of where small development teams is actually better. With Claire Obscure's Expedition 33, the team that worked on that, Sandfall Interactive, the actual like core team is just 30 developers. 30. Like there was a network of collaborators that they had which like puts the project to like maybe over 100, but when it comes to the actual core team, like not the any 3D modelers, QA, performance capture or marketing, when it comes to the actual core development team, it was 30 people to make Game of the Year. So it just goes to show that you don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of people at these companies in order to make something good. If anything, it actually hinders it. So that's why, to me, I don't see these gaming layoffs and these Microsoft and Xbox layoffs as a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I see them as a good thing. I think that companies, they hire way too many people. And you're probably going to be saying, Donnie, you said that you want to be a game developer. Well, aren't you putting yourself in the line of fire when it comes to this? Well, that's why I myself, when it comes to looking for companies that I would want to work for, I'm sorry, I would not want to work for these, a game development team that has we have 300 people working on this one game. Why would I want to work in a team of 300 people? No chance would I want to do that. If anything, I would want to work on a game like Expedition 33, a small core team where I am able to, my voice matters and it's easier to put things forward towards a table and it makes, a great outcome out of it. I mean, to me, one of, my companies that I would love to work for is Triple G, the guys that make Path of Exile. They don't have, this fucking, massive development team with, thousands of people. And then also they have, a lot of the times when it comes to games like Ubisoft, they're based in France, but then they have development teams in North America. They have development teams here, development teams there. It's just you don't need development teams in 4 different parts of the fucking world. It just makes things worse. And obviously this might be a hot take, right? You might not agree with this, but I just think that these companies have way too many people, and these layoffs, if anything, will be better for the consumers going forward. I still do feel bad for people getting laid off, like the people who were affected by that. Of course I feel bad for them. But when it comes to the consumer side of things and the way that companies work internally, this is better off. But that's going to be it from me. I would definitely like to hear what you have to think about this entire situation down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.